right, here we go again. Thank you for joining us for another flight with Smoky Bear Air. We're going to be leaving from 1210. We're going to be going to 2 Alpha Zero from Meadowlake to Dayton. All right, there's nothing like here at the end of this runway, giving it full throttle, even though it's only 145 horsepower, rolling down that runway and letting it go down through here. Getting that first bit of air and starting to climb up there, going over the hangars. Such a great feeling. Never gets old. That's why you love to go out here and do this. When you get up over here this particular morning, there was a beautiful fog that settled down in the valley that burned off from the airport, but you can still see it down below us. An absolutely beautiful, beautiful morning to go for a flight. I was pretty excited. I like to go eat breakfast, so this is where I was on my destination to today, was to go eat breakfast and support the civilian air patrol down there. As you can see, when we leave out from here, we're going to be making a hard right turn. I want to go out and look over the lake and look out towards the plateau and see all that beauty out there for the day. Fly over my house, make sure everything's good before I take off and head down here. We're going to head south over the lake, sped that footage up just so we can get down there and see the beautiful sights down that way. Just a beautiful fall day, absolutely beautiful. Again, as always in any of these videos, I am not a CFI, but I do recommend you find a great one if you want to learn how to do this. Life-changing views. Just change your perspective when you're up there. So again, I'm not a CFI. I'm not showing you how to do it. I'm just showing you the fun I'm having out here and the views I see. Alright, as you can see, we're on short final here down at Mark Antoine 2 Alpha Zero in Tennessee. The fun part about watching these videos is when you're coming in there, you can kind of critique yourself a little bit. And I'm sitting here looking at the PAPI lights, and where I'm so used to being on a short field down at 12TN, I've learned to use all the runway. So I noticed the PAPI lights were red when I come down through there, which meant just a little low on that glide path. Still landed right where I wanted to and got down here safe and sound and made a pretty smooth landing, it appears. As we complete the landing roll here and we're turning off the runway onto the taxiway, I went ahead and sped it up because I'm trying to get to the important part of this, and that's breakfast now. I'm going to go over here and park it at the FBO, go over here and get me a good breakfast, and I'm going to come back and we're going to get this thing started and taxi back out here. Alright, as we cross that whole short line out on there's nothing like having 5,100 foot of runway in front of you and a beautiful day to go fly. You give it full throttle and just let her go down through here. Beautiful morning again. I've left from here. I've got a full stomach. We're going to probably go a little bit further than before when we're flying to take off because I'm a little bit heavier now. But we're going to take off, and I'm like any other aviator. My number one concern now is I've got fuel for me. Now it's time to put some fuel in the aircraft. So I'm going to head over to Monroe County because they've got the best gas around, and it's also the cheapest. So that's my next destination, and we're going to take off and head out that way, departing from Mark Antoine to Alpha Zero. Outstanding breakfast that morning, some great people to eat it with. Couldn't have been more excited once I finally found it. It took me a few minutes to find it, but we did get there. You can see here, taking off on that 5,000 foot runway compared to Meadow Lake. I've got a whole nother Meadow Lakes if I have an issue to go back down to. It's kind of interesting as you watch it from out here on the perspective of that pilot's side wing strut, how much you started to drift when you was out there. Beautiful airport, outstanding for if you had an issue there, you could have very easily put that beast right back down on either on that field, or if you're still just starting off, you could have put it back down there and had plenty of room. Here we are on short final down in Monroe County. We're going to ease that beast on down here. And again, it's interesting to sit here and watch the pappy lights again, because I'm used to such short fields that I take off and land from that I look over at them old pappy lights and I've got two red. You can tell I'm definitely a short field kind of guy there. Learned to fly off very short runways like that. But again, we got her down nice and easy. Still had a little too much speed to make that first turn off, so I'm going to let it roll on down here. You can see where they redesigned the taxiways there. It used to be a Y shape, and you can see as we passed by it where it used to would have been able to turn in there no problem, and now it's just a little bit longer, but it's a little bit more convenient overall. It makes it a lot easier to have this middle turnoff now. Turn off over here, and again, the main mission here is let's take care of the old 5-1 Romeo and get her filled up with some, and help my wallet out too, and we'll keep it down there keep the fuel costs as low as we can. After we get her fueled up here, saw some good friends, got to talk for a few minutes, catch up on some old times. People I hadn't seen in a really long time, got to talk with them, and taxied back out there for one more flight now. We're going to take it back from here to Meadow Lake. Just a short little flight over there, about 15 minutes in actual time. If you'll notice that winds were calm on both of these days, so I just made it easy on both of them. I just entered into the pattern on a left downwind and went back up here, and I'm going to take, because I know I need a left departure, so it makes it a little bit easier if I go down here and use the opposite runway that I landed on. And here we are, the moment that you can't get out of your head when you're an aviator, is that moment when you go back into the sky. It's one of the most magical moments you'll have. You can't get enough of it. Once you've done it once, you're ready to do it again and again and do it again. So I'm hooked. I love it, and couldn't imagine doing anything else in my spare time. When I have time to go out and fly, I love to do it, and couldn't imagine doing anything any different. kind of slowed it down a little early here. We're still in the downwind, and just look at this beautiful view you get to do coming in here on a left downwind. Your options in an emergency situation, you can see an island out there. It's been used in the past from what I understand. If you had an emergency, you're still pretty close there. You could probably make a power off 180 back to the runway, but just amazing views that you get to see out here. And I didn't want to shortchange this absolutely beautiful view of going out here to land. Where it's nestled in between the two ridge lines there, if there is any wind, typically it gets you straight either down the runway, whichever way you're coming in, 5 or 2, 3. You can see as we're turning from base to final here, 2,600 foot runway that's 40 foot wide, as opposed to all those 5,000 footers we had earlier. And man, they makes you get ready to challenge your abilities to get back down here, because this is one of the definitions of a short field most of the time. You can see there's no pappy lights, there's no anything other than just getting her down there based on you flying the airplane and doing this pattern over and over and over again. But it never gets old. You worry about, and you're sitting there the first few times you come into an airport like this, these trees that are passing underneath this, you're like, boy, we're about to touch them. We're about to touch them. There's times I think I've counted the leaves on them, but always end up doing really well here. Can't complain. It's a very nice home for us in 5-1 Romeo. No need to get hard on the brakes right here. Let's just take and let it dissipate that energy, clean up the airplane, get the flaps back up, carb heat in. Just let it roll in there. Again, like, subscribe, comment. Tell me things you'd like to see, where you want to go. I'm going to give a comment, throw out to my buddy 188. Go out here and get involved with aviation. It's nothing but good things for me. Nothing but good things. And if you have a dream, go chase that dream down. Didn't know I had this dream, but it's changed the course of my life, being able to go out here and fly. So again, thank you for watching. Be safe and have a good evening.